We are at one of Disney World's most popular resorts and one that won't break the bank.
We're here at Disney's Port Orleans Riverside Resort.
Port Orleans Riverside is a moderate resort themed after the romance of rural Louisiana. It is just a short boat ride to Disney Springs and a short walk to Port Orleans French Quarter. It's going to be in the Disney Springs Resort area with over 2,000 rooms, so one of the larger resorts in Disney World, and a quick bus ride to anywhere else in Disney. We are here in the main lobby building here at Port Orleans, and we're going to head this way through registration and guest services. Now, the lobby here is themed to be an old Louisiana ferry terminal, which is very, very cool in my opinion, and it's beautiful in here. They've got these big fans that aren't really on right now, but still. And this is where you'll go to check in. Now, for Disney hotels, you do not have to check in the lobby. You can skip heading to the front desk using the My Disney Experience app or checking into your hotel on My Disney Experience on your computer. Now, I did use the app for mobile check-in this morning, which means I get to skip the line. Not that there's much of a line, we're here pretty early. But if you get here around that check-in time of 3 p.m., you're gonna see pretty long lines most likely. So I do recommend using that My Disney Experience check-in. It's super easy, and when you arrive, you can head straight to your room and use your phone, or if you have it, a magic band to unlock your door. Now, check-in time is at 3 p.m., and if you arrive before then, there's no guarantee that your room will be ready. At 3 p.m., your room should be ready. If it's ever not, you can just go talk to the front desk and they will absolutely help you out. That has definitely happened to me before. But today it is almost 10:30, and our room is already ready. So we're gonna head over and check out the inside of our room here at Port Orleans Riverside. I'm really excited about this because the only room I've stayed here is a princess themed room, and we're gonna stay in one of these standard hotel rooms here today. Really get a look at what the standard experience is without upcharging for that theme. But first, I think Emma and I are gonna get some breakfast because we're hungry. And by we, I mean I, because she probably ate breakfast like a responsible adult, and I did not. Hey, quick interval. I'm here at the sister hotel to Port Orleans Riverside. This is Port Orleans French Quarter. Smaller hotel, really nice, amazing theming, a little more Mardi Gras, New Orleans themed. Very, very fun. However, you'll notice also that behind me is Sassagoula Floatworks and Food Factory. Now you're gonna hear Emma and I call the restaurant we're in Sassagoula Floatworks and Food Factory, and that's not what it is. That's Riverside Mill Food Court. So when you hear that, just pretend we're saying Riverside Mill Food Court, because we got them switched in our brains. Because there are 2 Port Orleans hotels, and they have similar but different offerings. So yeah, just pretend you're hearing Riverside Mill. And we don't have to, we won't have to talk about it. All right, now stepping off the lobby, we've stepped into the quick service location at this hotel, which is Sassagoula Floatworks and Food Factory.
When you hear that, just pretend we're saying Riverside Mill Food Court because we got them switched in our brains.
This is a food court style quick service, and it's one that Emma and I are both really big fans of. This is definitely one of my favorite quick service locations that you can find at the hotels. Definitely my favorite of the food courts, and that's because they're gonna have a lot of those standard options you see around the food courts, plus some Louisiana favorites. The food quality is always really good. It's tons of beautiful indoor seating in here that it's really easy to sit down and eat. And we both come out of our way to eat here sometimes. Anytime I'm in the general area,
If I'm eating here, or if my family's in town, we come here for their Mickey waffles.
Yeah, it's a great spot. So if you're staying here, one of the big perks is the food court. Don't think that it's not, because it's a food court. It's still really good.
Okay, here's the fixins. For my breakfast, I ended up going with just the Mickey-shaped waffles. And yeah, earlier I said I had breakfast, and I did. But then I smelled the Mickey waffles, and it's the only thing I wanted. It comes with both sausage and bacon for $10.49. Quincy ended up going with one of the bowls that you can grab. I was leading up to a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was gonna lead up to a bit, but Quincy also got a pickle. But her main entree of the evening is the avocado breakfast bowl, which is potato barrels, scrambled eggs, cheddar, Southwest style beans, avocado, and a salsa fresca on top that looks so good. And it's only $10.49. And then you can get a hot coffee, which was what Quincy did and is making right now. But you can also get one of their signature coffees. So I ended up going with the iced caramel latte, and you can get them hot or iced. It's over in the bakery section. So there you go.
All right, we've acquired our food.
I think these are consistently the best quick service Mickey waffles you can get. It's always the same recipe. It is always the same little cast irons that they twist. These are the only ones that are consistently crispy and fluffy though. And it doesn't matter how long they've sat there. They don't get that kind of like soft chewiness. don't know what they're doing here. Maybe they just have so many that they're making consistently that they're more fresh all the time, but better.
Mine's amazing.
Yeah.
It's tots, loaded with pico de gallo, beans, avocado. Everything's fresh. Like, I was expecting kind of mushy avocado. It's fresh, green avocado. It's the perfect, like, portion of everything to mix together into, like, an awesome plate. I got 2 packets of hot sauce, make it a little spicy. Like, super filling, super delicious breakfast. The tots are super crispy. None of them are getting mushy under all the toppings. And the cheddar cheese melted really nicely as soon as she put it on. I get this again in a heartbeat. I love this food court.
I get this all the time.
We're gonna eat breakfast and then go check out our room, I think.
Yeah, the room's already ready.
I know.
Already ready.
All right, we have finished our breakfast at Sassagoula Floatworks and Food Factory.
When you hear that, just pretend we're saying Riverside Milk Food Court because we got them switched in our brains.
And we're now headed to our room since it was ready before breakfast, which is really awesome. That's the benefit, even if check-in time is 3 p.m. Don't be afraid to stop by your hotel early and see if a room is ready. If a hotel isn't full, oftentimes they will go ahead and put you in a room that is open. So they went ahead and marked us as arrived when I went through the parking gate, but you can also let them know you're there at the check-in desk, and then they might put you in a room. So, worth a shot. Ours was ready within like 10 minutes of me driving through the parking gate at about 10 a.m. this morning. If you are ever arriving at your hotel and your room is not ready, you can always leave your bags with Bell Services and head to the parks or explore the hotel, whatever you want to do. And then you can either grab your bags from Bell Services or ask them to bring them to your room when your room is ready later in the day. But we are headed over into Magnolia Bend. This hotel is split into 2 sections, Magnolia Bend and Alligator Bayou. They have pretty different themes, both of them very beautiful, really like southern, glorious. I actually like Alligator Bayou better, and I was really hoping we were going to get Alligator Bayou today because I've stayed in the princess themed rooms at this hotel, and those are over in Magnolia Bend, but no luck. We are in Magnolia Bend. As you can see, the buildings in this area are those like big southern mansion style houses. We are in room 8706, which is right here. This is one of the standard hotel rooms here. So let's head in.
Who are you? What you want?
I was hoping to come into the hotel room that we are sharing.
Who are you?
My name is Quincy, and you are aware of that.
My God, you've gotten red. Come in.
Oh, it's cute!
Thank you, I built it.
No, you
This
didn't.
is all handcrafted by me. I actually was making these this morning, the sheets.
You made the sheets?
I stitched them.
Wow.
The loom.
Well, can't wait to look around.
Yeah, thank you. I've been...
All right, so time to check out the room. We're going to start at the front door, which is a good place to... Fry bucket?
Hey,
How'd you get here?
I put myself on the reservation.
Oh. Well, that makes sense, I guess.
What you gonna do?
Don't you listen? That is something to be aware of if you're staying at a Disney hotel. Is that there is the danger of Fry Bucket putting yourself on your reservation and being in your room when you get there. Front door, you've got it here. There are exterior hallways in this hotel, but your front door does have all the standard door locks. You've got your like scanner lock as well as oh my gosh, a deadbolt. I'm throwing things on the ground, and a latch door bar. We've got your room occupied sign for if you want to take a nap. Now this hotel has always had like a Louisiana Southern theme, but they've added a couple of Princess and the Frog touches that we're gonna quickly go through so you don't miss them because they're very, very cute. We have these curtains, which have a little frog prince on them. Very cute. That's Naveen.
Yeah.
And then Emma noticed with her keen eyes, the headboards have been repainted. And here you can see Charlotte and Big Daddy. This one has been repainted. Right here you can see little Tiana and Lottie next to her there. I also think this might be her parents. Oh my gosh, wait, did you see? That's not little Tiana. You see Tiana on the freaking thing?
Tiana's in her blue dress and that's
She's
Naveen.
in her blue dress with Naveen. Yeah, like right smack dab in the middle. Man, I was like, no, I don't think they've been repainted. Biggest Tiana feature in the room is going to be blocking off your bathroom. Yes, please. Thank you, Vanna. Where you have this curtain that blocks off the bathroom. It doesn't super fit in the room, but it is the most themed element, and I think your kiddos will probably love it. So you got Tiana talking to Frog Naveen. And then there's a matching curtain over here with the fireflies and such. That's not explicitly Princess and the Frog, but does have the vibe. So a lot of Princess and the Frog details. But now that we've got all the Princess and the Frog details, let's look around at the rest of the room. So it's not a huge room. You come in to kind of Emma and Fry sitting at a table, And then it's a standard hotel room. Otherwise, you got your bureau, your beds here, and then you continue on into the bathroom, separated by a curtain, and then there's an enclosed actual like closing door bathroom for the commode and shower. But right when you come in, you have your window. Now, because there are exterior hallways, your window will look out onto those exterior hallways, which means you're probably gonna wanna keep those privacy curtains closed. We have a nice view of the garden, but it's kind of at an angle, and with the privacy curtains closed, anyone walking by isn't going to be able to like glance in your room and see what's going on. You also got blackout curtains if you do want to take that nap. The cute Prince Naveen ones. And then here is your air conditioning unit, which you can control, but not at it. You control it across the room. We'll check it out. You've got your recycling and trash here in the corner, and we'll talk about the table space. So you've got a mirror here so you can see us, all three of us, do this. Emma's not in the mirror at all. There you go. You've got a pretty solid table space here for if you need to eat or do some work or anything. Or shuck all of your stuff off your body when you get into the hotel room at the end of your park day. Probably how I would use it. You've got a little welcome to Disney World, housekeeping service information card, your take-along guide to the magic, which is a little pamphlet you can get. Talks about the things that are going on in Disney World during your stay. And then you got 2 chairs. The upholstery has this pretty design on it. And are they comfortable?
I'm pretty comfy, yeah.
In front of the beds, you've got your main storage unit and your TV. This is great. I love a smart TV because this means that you can cast stuff from you can cast stuff from your own device onto this TV. Renovated hotel rooms, updated hotel rooms. Obviously, this room has been updated with a couple Princess and the Frog touches. Those are gonna have the smart TVs, whereas the older, less recently updated hotel rooms won't. And I've got tours of every single Disney World Resort hotel on our channel right now, which you can go check out and find out if they have a smart TV, if that's important to you. We've got an ice bucket here with some cups, both.
What?
Ice bucket.
A fry bucket?
No.
Please get her name right.
That's a fry bucket.
That's a
This is her cousin. Ice buckets. You've got your outlets up here. You've got standard outlets as well as USB outlets. And your coffee maker over here. It's just one of these little like packet coffee makers. Plenty of Joffrey's coffee with the Walt Disney World Resort blends, some tea, sugar fixins, everything you might need. Then down below we have 3 drawers. They're all about the same size, which is pretty large. Plenty of storage space, I'd say, in here. And then over here we've got something that really irritates Emma because the cabinet door opens this way, but the fridge door opens this way, and that just drives her crazy. But this is gonna be your beverage cooler slash fridge. It doesn't quite get cold enough to be a full fridge, but should be good for leftovers, most drinks. I usually don't have an issue with it, but just be warned that it, I think, doesn't technically get cold enough to be classified as a fridge. I like these ones though because they're pretty large and they have these little spots for cans, which I think is nice. We've got a little coat rack here where you can hang up anything from your park day, a nice little ledge for you to place like whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you what you can place on the ledge. You can do whatever you want. Then there's this bench, which is great for getting ready or putting your luggage on. And I think there is not a luggage rack, so this is going to be your substitute luggage rack in this room. Then we have our thermostat controls that I told you existed, and I didn't lie. They're over here. You can set them how you want. The beds, which looked nice before we all climbed on the pillows to see if Tiana and Lottie were in the things. But, you know, what are you going to do? 2 queen beds in this room. We've got a Mickey in the towel, which I love. This doesn't always happen in your hotel rooms now. It's a nice touch, and especially it's a little thank you note from the housekeeping staff, which I really love stuff like this. This I rarely see in Disney World because it always sticks out to me when I see in Disneyland or any other hotels I stay in. It just feels like kind of an old-fashioned touch, and I love that they have it here at Port Orleans Riverside. 4 pillows in each of the beds, and then each of the beds does have those vignettes that we showed earlier that sort of look like they came right out of the environment around this hotel. Something I love about the theming of Port Orleans Riverside is that the foliage is just Florida foliage, but it works. So it's really immersive because Florida and Louisiana foliage is not that different. The moderate hotels have a solid amount of space, especially like compared to the values. You're gonna see a lot more space in the moderate hotel rooms, even though the amenities might not be too different within the actual rooms, but a lot of floor space in here and a good amount of space between the beds and on either side of the beds. We've even got a connecting door in these rooms, so if you do want to do a connecting hotel room situation, get 2 rooms, you can at this hotel. Under the bed, there is some storage space. Another way that you can tell this room has been updated, because not updated rooms will not have the storage space under the beds, but plenty of space for your bags. Between the beds, you have a little side table here. There's only the side table in the middle, not on the sides. You've got a little note about telephone calls, your telephone, your Hey Disney, which is a voice assistant in the room. This can be really helpful for asking questions about Disney World, as well as you can like ask it how old Tom Holland is. I know that a lot of people have said they're not comfortable with like a voice assistant that can listen to you with a microphone in their room. If that's the case, it is muted. It is not listening to you when you come in, but you can also unplug it. The plugs are accessible typically, and I believe that's true here as well. Yeah, it is. It's just a little trickier to get to. Just remember to plug it back in. But it is muted. It's not listening to you. It's just a voice assistant for your use if you want it. I really love the soundscapes. They're super fun to listen to. And there's all this information about what you can do with Hey Disney. Then you've got a drawer here next to the bed, as well as a little cubby. And that's sort of your bed space. I especially love the art in the headboards. There's a lot of blank space on the walls up here, but I just think it like looks so nice and clean, and it matches the outside of the hotel because it's got the cute headboard art as well as these pretty wall sconces. And then there's this fun art, which is super cool because it is stylized like it's like, you know, an older painting of the South. But if you look closely, this is Rivers of America, that's Liberty Bell Riverboat, and that's Cinderella Castle in the background. So I really love this, and I kind of want it in my house. You guys want to help me get this off the wall? All right, so then we have our bathroom here. It is through the Tiana curtain, which you can close off if someone's getting ready before someone's awake. Not that we would know anything about that, except that's what happens every time Emma and I stay in a room together. Big mirror in here so you can see all three of us do this. Oh, but Emma's adding an audio effect. This is a really sizable mirror. There's also a double sink in here, which I think is awesome. Sometimes there's just not quite enough space for multiple people to get ready all at once. Double sink, good amount of counter space here. You got a tissue box, some washcloths, your makeup mirror, which is always fun because of this. Then we've also got your bath soap and body lotion here on the sink, hand towels, and then down below you'll find your hair dryer with plenty of space for you to set anything you need to on that bottom shelf. There's no closet in this room. There is just kind of this closet space in the bathroom, which is where you'll find Fry's suitcase. Plenty of hangers, your iron and ironing board, another trash bin in here, extra pillow and blankets, and that's kind of your closet space. And then we have our full-length mirror, which is on the door. This is a locking door that leads to the rest of the bathroom. You've got a full-length mirror, so you can see me do this. You can't see them in this mirror, so it's just a one-room show. All right. Then we have the commode room. Ever important commode, another trash bin, your toilet paper, plenty of towels here, and of course you can always request more. And through your shower curtain, we have the rest of, through your shower curtain, we have the shower. Pretty wide shower head here. We'll check out that pressure in a second. Your shower controls here. It's a standard size bathtub, but it does have a ledge on the end, which is nice for you to set down anything that you've brought. If you didn't bring toiletries, they do have shampoo, conditioner, and body wash here too for your use. And there's a clothesline if you need to dry anything off. I also really like the tiling in here, and there's also a couple soap dishes. Let's check out that pressure. I'm scared, I don't want to get wet. It's not super intense pressure, but it is a wide shower head, so I think it would be really nice after a long park day. And that's the room. Emma is spoiling bed science.
The bed science one.
Oh, like
what if there were nails in the mattress?
You're like a poison tester?
Exactly, like I'm drinking out of your goblet.
Wow, thank you.
Yes.
Is it safe?
I'm still testing it.
Now that Emma has determined it's safe, Fry and I are going to jump onto the bed. But Emma tested it, but there weren't nails in the mattress. Okay! Ooh. My Lena Bell claw clip is comfy to lay on.
Oh, you should take that out.
Because it's plush.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's comfy. It's a nice mix between soft and firm. It's got like a lot of... I haven't been on a Disney mattress since the ones in Tokyo, which you can see lots of fun Tokyo videos on our channel right now. But Japan has really firm mattresses. And this is not as firm.
No.
Which I'm enjoying.
I like it.
Fry, will you discuss the pillows if I have a claw clip?
Yes. It's pretty fluffy.
That's a good amount of head sinkage you've got
There's quite
going.
a lot of head sinkage in here. I like it, but I'm also someone who legitimately sleeps with 4 pillows every night.
Yeah, I like a soft pillow. I like to build a nest in my Disney bed of pillows. Emma likes a firm pillow and she does not like these pillows. Bed science has been pretty good. Fry, I think, is probably going to stay here and do our 8-hour extended bed science for us.
Yeah.
So she'll be the one really testing out how these beds stand up. But yeah, that's the room. It's pretty cool, which means we got to talk about the less cool part, which is the fact that you do have to pay for this.
Boo.
Boo. So, Port Orleans Riverside. Couple of different room options here. You've got Riverview, Woods View, standard rooms, pool rooms. You've got options for fit sleepers, king beds. There are preferred rooms, and then there are those themed Princess Royal guest rooms. If you want to see those, you can check out my last tour of Port Orleans Riverside that is on the channel now. I did stay in a princess room. It was very cute. The rooms here are 314 square feet. And for pricing, it's going to obviously depend on the view type, room type, as well as the date. But rooms are going to range from $290 to $550 per night. Those royal rooms are going to be hiked up a bit, ranging from $350 to $585 per night. Just about. Remember also to always look for special offers, because special offers are offered all the time. Disney Plus subscribers, if you're an annual pass holder, Florida resident, even if you're just traveling at a certain time of year, you might see 15, 20, 30% off rooms in Disney World. And even if you've already booked, you can get those discounts applied to your booking by calling Disney, reaching out to Disney via chat. So always, always, always check for special offers. And if you're planning a trip, make sure you follow AllEars, because we will for sure on our Instagram ring the alarm bells as soon as a special offer pops up that might affect you. So following AllEars, following our newsletter can be really helpful with that as well. Now, we are actually hosted in this room this time by our friends at MEI Travel. MEI Travel is an amazing travel agent company that you can reach out to, and they can help you find out about all of those special offers. So everything I just talked about, you don't have to keep an eye out for them at all, because MEI Travel will make sure that you are spending the least that you can spend to get the vacation that you want. They also will handle all of the bookings, anything like that is stressful at all about planning. And remember, travel agents are a free service, so you can reach out to MEI Travel. They'll do this. They'll help you out with your travel, get everything all set up for you. And it's super easy. They just work directly with Disney to get everything booked. They can make sure that you get those offers. Disney will often reach out to travel agents like MEI to tell them, like, hey, here's a deal. Make sure you apply it to your clients, and MEI Travel can help you out with a great deal and with planning your vacation in general. So you can head to the link in our description to learn more about MEI Travel. We're going for Emma and friends to complete everything in Disney World, over 1,000 items in just 100 days. So it's day 3, and we're going to try to knock out some items. You can check out that series on the site now, but for now, we're going to see just how long it takes us to get to Magic Kingdom, which we have to do via bus from Port Orleans Riverside, and yeah, find out what that journey's like. So come along. Emma is leading us, which is bold because she did immediately go the wrong way.
Do you think we should turn around?
Are there stairs at the end?
I don't see it.
If there are, I feel like that's the bus stop, so this is good.
Yeah.
Although I actually don't know if that's the bus stop, and I don't know if there are stairs.
I don't see stairs.
I just think it's important that everyone knows that it's really easy to get lost at your Disney World hotel. Look at the magnolia flowers. Well, we found this sign, so I think we're on the right track.
I also just pulled up transportation on the Disney map, because you can do that and it'll tell you where the bus stop is, and then you can give you directions and it'll give you directions.
And it's telling us to head south, so make sure you pack your compass. This hotel has an internal bus loop, which means there are multiple stops around the hotel. It can be a little bit of a bummer just because it does take longer to take the bus around the hotel. It takes longer to get back to your room. It takes longer to leave your room. Our room is closest to East Depot, right here. Now, Port Orleans Riverside does have the fewest internal bus stops of any of the internal bus loop hotels, so it's not a super big inconvenience here. There are only 3 internal stops, so it's not too big of a slowdown, but just something to be aware of. If you stay at the sister hotel, Port Orleans French Quarter, there are no internal bus stops. That hotel is also much smaller, but it's still just like this hotel. You can take a boat to Disney Springs. It's walking distance to this hotel, so you kind of have access to both with not having the internal bus loop. So
It's my favorite. I love it so much. I love French Quarter. It's tiny and comforting and so cute.
And if you want to see more about French Quarter, we have both a 10-minute little sampler video about French Quarter where you can learn everything you need to know. Our bus is here, and we have a full tour of French Quarter on the channel as well.
Early.
They are early. Simba! Alright, it was 15 minutes to Magic Kingdom, including a second stop at the hotel. The good thing about the internal bus loop is they do make the stops quick. They don't like linger for a long time at the hotel. So we're at Magic Kingdom after just 15 minutes. Pretty easy. And the best part about staying at a Disney hotel is that you do get dropped right at the gates of Magic Kingdom instead of across at the Transportation and Ticket Center. Woo. So we're headed in. We're gonna film, hang out in Magic Kingdom for a bit, and we'll see you later. We head to dinner, see more of the hotel tonight. We're back. It's later.
Yeah, it is. It's much later.
Yeah, it is much later. We filmed our episode of Everything in Disney World. We are headed now to dinner, and then we're gonna check out some more of the hotel. I don't know if we're gonna do that tonight or in the morning. Just it will get dark, so we'll kind of see how timing works out. But we're gonna show you everything there is to see around the hotel. We're actually headed to the table service restaurant at Port Orleans Riverside, which is Boatwright's dining hall. This restaurant is open limited hours. It's only open after 5 for dinner, and it's gotten like kind of mixed reviews.
When I was reading the reviews on AllEars to prepare for it, it was either 5 stars or 1 star.
Wow.
And that's within the last like 6 months last year. So I'm really eager to see where this lands.
Now, if you don't know, Emma and I are working through all of the restaurants that I have not eaten at in Disney World. There are over 400 restaurants in Disney World, and I have just over 30 left before I have eaten at every single restaurant in Disney World. So we are going to Boatwright's tonight, both because we're staying at Port Orleans Riverside, and then also because I haven't eaten there, so it's knocking it off of my list. But I'm pretty interested. I'm curious about what we're gonna find, and you'll see a montage in this video. But if you want to see a full review of Boatwright's, you can see it coming to the channel soon. We're walking over to Port Orleans Riverside from French Quarter. It's about a 10-minute walk to get from hotel to hotel. It's along the water. It's very beautiful. It's not overly hot today. Now, on a normal day, you can take the Sassagoula riverboats between these two hotels as well as over to Disney Springs. But right now, the water levels are so low that the boats aren't running. Yeah. It's really interesting.
We have not seen that. It happens occasionally.
I've never seen it before.
We've never seen it.
Yeah, so no boats today, which is a bummer because there's some of my, it's one of my favorite boat rides in Disney World, especially over to Disney Springs because it's through a lot of like untouched wilderness. It's very beautiful, but just a walk today for us to head on over to dinner. Also, there's some recreation offerings at Port Orleans Riverside, including carriage rides, which we are walking by right now. This beautiful horse and carriage. That was so cool. He was so big.
So working hard.
But yeah, you can do carriage rides here. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we walk around the hotel later. But it's a fun option. It isn't upcharged though. Now we've got a couple of minutes before dinner, so I'm gonna start just a little bit of that hotel tour. So our room is over there in Magnolia Bend. If you want to find Alligator Bayou, it's going to be over there. We will show a map so you can see how this resort's laid out. It's pretty large, but the main lobby is going to have a lot of your amenities. Basically, the main lobby building is going to have a lot of your amenities at this hotel, but not all of them. There's actually a really cool island at this hotel that has a lot of the recreation and the very cool main pool. But here we have Medicine Show Arcade, which is the arcade. Open till 10 p.m., 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So just kind of a great spot for kiddos to get a little bit of their energy out. It's a pretty large arcade. It's actually one of the bigger arcades. And we do need to do some serious damage in here. Yeah. Yeah. So of course you do have to buy tokens to be able to play these games, but you send your kid down with a couple bucks, you know, let them go to town. You can have some quiet. We all want some quiet.
Well, and if you don't...
They have Guitar Hero?
Yes. And also, if you don't want your kid by themselves, sit in the massage chairs.
Sit in the massage chair.
Something for yourself.
That's what they're there for. You'll remember the main lobby room in here, which we saw earlier around check-in. And then continuing on, you're going to come into like a really nice atrium that has a lot of seating. There is a Disney Vacation Club desk in here. So if you're interested in Disney Vacation Club and want to learn a little bit more about it, you sure can. Caricatures can be available. And you can also learn a little bit more about recreation options. One more unique option that you can do here is the Mosaic classes. It is an upcharge, it's $35 to do, but it is one of the paid recreation offerings. All the hotels have paid and free recreation options. The store here at this hotel is Fulton's General Store, and this is actually my favorite hotel store in Disney World, and that's because they still have the like retro style Mickey and Friends figures in here, and it is Goofy and Donald's nephews and Mickey's nephews just kind of wreaking havoc, and they do move. So even if you don't want to buy anything, it feels so, this feels like when I was a little kid, the kind of thing you would see in stores. Oh, poor Donald. But I love Goofy in here, who has gotten like hit in the face with some ash from the stove because the boys, yeah, it's just so cute in here. Also, it's a pretty big store, so you're going to find a lot of Disney World merchandise. Remember, if you see something in the parks, don't bet that it's at your hotel because it might not be, but there is a lot of stuff available at this store. So if you need to do some souvenir shopping without leaving the hotel, you certainly have the option. There is also some Port Orleans specific merchandise. We've got this beignet all day mug, the beignet ears, which are very exciting and fun. There's this very pretty Princess Tiana spirit jersey down here. Fishing the day away?
Yeah.
We are going fishing.
Go fishing.
We're going fishing during our next Fort Wilderness stay, which is coming up for the new DVC cabins. Got this pretty Port Orleans Riverside shirt. You'll find with some of the hotels that are a little more popular, there are a lot more merchandise options. Look how nice this is. Tommy Bahama.
The ears?
Oh, those are pretty. Yep. There's Tiana's cookbook you can grab, a couple of Mardi Gras items here. And then also in this gift shop, you'll just find a bunch of like Louisiana favorites, like a gumbo mug. Gumbo.
Leah Chase.
Leah Chase, who inspired Tiana. Praline mix, beignet mix. You can like get a lot of fun stuff in here. Obviously, it's going to be more expensive than if you were to buy it elsewhere, but it's still super fun that it is here. I love this mug. So cute. So lots of fun Riverside merch to check out. Oh my gosh, look at this tumbler.
I know.
Man, the Riverside merchandise goes crazy. I don't know how you're managing right now.
We just came back from Tokyo in the world and timeline of which we are filming this, so I'm trying really hard to keep my head down.
Yeah,
So,
well,
yeah.
the-
Find a lot of good stuff in this store.
this is a great store. I just said it's my favorite hotel store because of these guys.
Every time I'm in here, I do find something to purchase.
Yeah. Always important at these resort stores is that you can grab drinks and snacks and things like that, obviously at a premium. So if you want to do grocery delivery or pick up some groceries, that can be a little cheaper. But there's the ever important essentials shelf, which is where you'll find medicines, feminine products, combs and toothbrushes, anything you might have forgotten, sunscreen. Very, very important. I always make a stop at the essentials shelf because I always forget something essential.
True.
Oh, look, they've got Anna and Elsa ears.
How convenient.
Wait, that's Cinderella, but she's next to the... Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
I see. I didn't know you were wrong. Like, incorrect.
So I could have lived.
You could have walked it off.
Yeah. Anyway, I love Fulton's General Store. And just next door, we have a very exciting lounge, which is the River Roost Lounge. Now, this is going to be a really fun lounge. It is obviously evening time, going to be focused on more alcohol. They've got a bar you can sit at, lots of seats. But the thing that really stands out about River Roost is it is also the main venue for Yeehaw Bob Jackson, who plays the piano. It's a wacky piano that rocks back and forth. He sings. He is extremely popular. You'll find on nights that Yeehaw Bob plays, which are Wednesdays through Saturdays, River Roost is packed.
No seating.
Almost every time I've ever been here on a night that Yeehaw Bob is here, packed.
I've only been here twice, and the moment I walked in the lobby, I knew he was playing.
I was here the night that Yeehaw Bob returned after COVID, and everybody was in yellow. It was wild. So the drinks are really amazing. The lounge bites are great. I've always really enjoyed my stops at River Roost, but just a warning, if you go on a night that Yeehaw Bob plays, expect crowds. I mean, people standing in this doorway to watch him. He's really spectacular. But my name's in there. Yeah, my name's in here. Look, on the board right behind the piano, it says Vidalia, St. Louis, Memphis, Quincy. Yeah, of course, they're talking about Quincy, Massachusetts. But of course, we are headed to Boat Ride's Dining Hall right now. This is going to be the table service location here. Beyond that, the only thing left in this area is Riverside Mill Food Court, not Sassagoula Floatworks. Riverside Mill, not Sassagoula Floatworks. But we're headed to Boat Rides, which is right here. You can find it serving dinner from 5 p.m. Lots of those New Orleans down the bayou favorites. So we're going to see what we think.
So excited.
And montage cue. Dinner's finished. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm very full and I ate a lot. So you can extrapolate from there about whether or not I liked it. But you can also check out our full Boat Rides review on the channel. Now I'm cutting through Riverside Mill Food Court, which is called Riverside Mill Food Court and not Sassagoula Floatworks Factory.
When you hear that, just pretend we're saying Riverside Mill Food Court because we got them switched in our brains.
This one's really fun because it is themed to the actual like mill, and there is the huge water wheel out back, which is one of my favorite spots at this hotel. Is this beautiful sort of walkway right by the water wheel, and especially right now at sunset with the lights already on down by the water. It's just really, really pretty, which I love. And you can kind of see from here over to Alligator Bayou. So you saw at Magnolia Bend, we had the very like Southern Mansion themed buildings. Well, Alligator Bayou is a little bit more of those swamp homes, river homes sort of theming. And I have always loved Alligator Bayou because it reminds me of the house that my grandparents lived in on a lake in North Carolina. So I really love the theming of Alligator Bayou. It reminds me of that neighborhood just because it feels very southern and in the woods. I also think Alligator Bayou is fun because this is where you're going to see the less manicured area. Of course, it's equally manicured. It's just a little bit more, it's left a little bit more wild on purpose because this is sort of the swampy side of Louisiana, where you might find Mama Odie if you were Tiana and Naveen in frog form exploring the swamps down in the bayou. It's fun because the foliage here is pretty swampy, just like in Florida, but it fits the theme and it's really beautiful in its own right. So I absolutely love this side. I've still never gotten to stay here. I would really love to. Now, honestly, if there is an area that you really want to stay in, I do recommend calling the hotel and putting in a request. You can also put in requests when you check in online, but if you call or go to the actual physical check-in desks, you can give more separate requests. So if I wanted so badly to stay in Alligator Bayou, I could have stopped by the check-in desk today and asked if we could stay at Alligator Bayou. And if they had a room available and were able to move me, they probably would have. Well, the moon is out. It's so beautiful here. It's definitely real swampy and I love it. They've got the twisting roots of the trees. I just think that this resort is awesome because even though it's themed to Louisiana, you're looking at a lot of natural Floridian wildlife, and Florida's really beautiful. And you don't get to see that a ton in Disney because it's so manicured. But I do recommend taking a look around, taking a walk. I'm a big walker, and this resort is big enough to have these beautiful, winding, naturey walking paths. Speaking of which, we have followed one to the island in the middle of Port Orleans French Quarter, and that is where we'll find a lot of the really unique and fun recreation here, like hammocks, which a bunch of people are chilling in right now. It's like nicely not very buggy out right now, which I don't know, I won't complain. Now, before we move on to this recreation items, let's talk a little bit more about the rooms. Something to note is that these buildings do not have elevators. So if you need an accessible room, go ahead and request one on the first floor, let them know when you check in, and they will be happy to accommodate you. Even if you just have some like mobility challenges and the stairs might be a lot at the end of a long park day, go ahead and make the request. This is also one of Disney's dog-friendly resorts, so if you want to bring your pup with you, this is an option for you. But let's check out Old Man Island, which is what this island's called. And there's actually a story to it, which we will explore. But right now, I'm standing next to the fishing hole. So this is the fishing hole where you can do catch and release fishing. It's available in the morning to the early afternoon, and it's pretty cheap. It is $6.39 per half hour or $15.98 per half hour for the family special where everyone can fish. Catch and release fishing right here off this little dock. And I just think that these kind of activities on your resort day can be really, really fun, be like great family bonding. It's the reason I like these resorts like this one or Fort Wilderness Campground that have a lot of recreation options. It just makes for a resort day to be that much more unique and fun. And restful doesn't always mean sitting by the pool all day. It can also mean fishing with your family or taking walks through the beautiful wilderness or taking a carriage ride. But it can also mean hanging out by the pool all day, which can be pretty darn fun at this hotel because there's a pretty awesome pool. Now, Old Man Island is actually inspired by Tom Sawyer. So it's kind of this hotel's own little Tom Sawyer Island. Right by the pool, you'll find the pool bar, which we're coming up on right here. This is Muddy Rivers. And this is a super nice pool bar. I just think it feels like you are lakeside at this hotel, which I love. I loved going to the lake growing up, so it's super fun. They got a bunch of specialty drinks here, non-alcoholic beer, wine, frozen drinks, draft beers. They're playing sports. You can get a Mickey pretzel, you know, just a nice spot. And there's lots of room on the pool deck for lounging. And the pool is themed to be an old-fashioned swimming hole. The slide is a 95-foot sawmill slide, which is super fun and is around on the other side there. And you can see that lots of folks are here, but it still doesn't feel too overly crowded. It's a little on the cooler side. It's into the evening, so this pool definitely can get crowded. But don't worry, there are actually 5 quiet pools around this hotel in the different areas of Alligator Bayou and Magnolia Bend. So if the main pool is too crowded, too loud, if the recreation is getting really noisy, you can always head to one of those quiet pools and get a little rest and relaxation there. So lots of options for pool swimming here. Now you'll also find the campfire right off the side here. Campfire on the Bayou is what it's called. Now it is nightly from 6 to 7 p.m. so it's actually a little late. We ate dinner right through the campfire, but you can come on down here. Oftentimes the resorts will have marshmallows that you can roast for free, which is pretty cool. And you can usually also buy s'mores kits in the gift shop, so keep an eye out for that. Also has the foosball table and some cornhole, so there's options like that too. Look at this tree. Oh my gosh, I just love it here. I think it's so beautiful. Here in Fort Wilderness, I think are the most like natural resorts. They preserved a lot of the older trees with this hotel, and some of them are features of themselves. Old Man Island Playground is here, which I like because it's got a little rock wall, little river wheel, so it fits the theme of the island. Oh look! Okay, so this live oak was planted in 1991. That's such a beautiful tree. I also just love the lazy jazz that plays around. One stop that you always have to make when you're at your Disney hotel, no matter where you're staying, is the recreations board. This is usually in the lobby or by the pool or both, and it'll tell you what's going on during your stay. So this is very helpful for if you do have a resort day. Now, Movies Under the Stars are an option. That happens on Oak Manor Lawn, located over in Magnolia Bend. Bunch of different movies tonight. They're doing The Sandlot, seeing The Princess and the Frog, which would be fun at this resort specifically. Then you've also got a number of regular activities that happen every day. Back porch crafts, poolside activities. There are some upcharge ones like arts and crafts, Mickey tie-dye. And then there are signature activities, which is something you won't see at most Disney value hotels, but most moderates and deluxes will have a few. That mosaic class we talked about, an arcade challenge. I love the Bayou Lawn Bash and the Bayou Bag Toss. Just really fun recreation options, and a lot of these are free, and your kiddos might love them, and the Disney Recreation cast members are awesome. So it is definitely not something to miss. I want to find the Old Man Island sign because I know it explains the story of the island, but I don't know where it is. Looks like some folks have got a blanket out on the side of the river. The beautiful gazebos of Magnolia Bend as the sun starts to go down. I definitely think this hotel really has the southern charm to it. I do like French Quarter because it's got that Mardi Gras, New Orleans vibe to it, but this has that more rural Louisiana, sort of nostalgic, if you're from the South at least, vibe. And just beautiful plants. Every time I look, I'm like, that's a pretty plant. All right, we've made it to the Old Man Island sign. We're gonna learn the story. Yeah, here it is. Settled in 1835 by a young man, Island became his home in the solitude of the Bayou country. Years later, as Riverside, the town, was settled and prospered, Old Man Island was discovered by the children of the town, and they would steal away to play on the island where a wondrous world had been created. The island is a tribute to the old man and the happiness he gave the children and all of Riverside's neighbors. I just love the little stories of the hotels, and I just think it really feels like you're somewhere else, which I think is part of the fun of going to these Disney hotels. Even if you don't choose to stay here, I think this is a great spot to stop by for a walk. You could take a boat from Disney Springs here, maybe on a day that you're not in the park, walk around, explore, maybe go see Yeehaw Bob at the River Roost Lounge, or walk on over to Port Orleans French Quarter, which has some amazing options as well. Now, this hotel is an easy boat ride to Disney Springs and an easy walk to Port Orleans French Quarter. So if the options that you've seen today for food and entertainment aren't enough for you, you have easy access to the biggest food and entertainment district in Disney World at Disney Springs, as well as Port Orleans French Quarter with Mickey beignets and Scat Cat Club Cafe and Club Lounge for live jazz. There's just a lot of options. And I think you can really get lost here without ever even going to the parks, having a good time. Now, we are also right here by the Marina. We're back up by the lobby building, you see. Right now, these trees are in bloom. I don't know what these are. I think they're dogwoods. They are so beautiful. And they're in bloom all around Disney. They're in bloom in Magic Kingdom, and they look amazing. But we're going to talk a little bit about the Marina here. It is very important, because This is where you'll find the boat dock, which is where you can board Sassagoula steamboats to get to Disney Springs, to get over to Port Orleans French Quarter. Those do leave here. Now the water levels are low right now. So, wow, you can see how low they are. Look at that. You see the line? So the boats aren't running, but typically you would be able to take a boat to Disney Springs. Just unfortunately, not right now, although that's rare. These boats are almost always running, rain or shine, so it's rare that you'll see them stop, but they will stop with severe weather and things like that. The hotel also has a running trail, which is one of my favorite running trails in Disney World. I don't run, but I do walk, and this is a beautiful walk. You can run and walk all the way around. You've got the 1 mile around Port Orleans Riverside. You can add 0.7 miles if you go into Port Orleans French Quarter. Riverside Levee is also home to a couple of rentals. You can do bike rentals, including Surrey bike rentals, which if you want to see how that goes, you can check out our Last to Leave challenge, the sequel, which is on the channel now, where we did have to do the Surrey bike at Boardwalk, and it was really something. There's also standard bike rentals, which I definitely recommend. I love doing a bike rental in Disney World. It seems a little silly, but this is a beautiful walk, also a beautiful bike ride. Here are some of the prices on those bike rentals. This is also where you can find the rentals for the fireworks cruise, cane pole fishing at the fishing hole, and the guided bass fishing excursions, which you'll do on those pontoon boats we saw over there, which is pretty darn neat. You can also stop by here if you are interested in those carriage rides, because those are available in this area as well. It's horse-drawn carriage rides we saw earlier. Those are limited hours, so make sure to ask at the front desk or over here at the Riverside Levee if you are interested in those. As a final stop, we'll just give you an idea of what the layout of the hotel is, just in case it wasn't too clear from watching me walk around on video. This top half of this map is Port Orleans Riverside up here. So you can see it's pretty big. This is the main lobby. Here's Old Man Island, very close to the main lobby. And then you've got all these sections here around the hotel. Magnolia Bend is this side, Alligator Bayou is this side. But yeah, it's pretty simple. And then the bus stops you've got here, you've got East Depot, North Depot, West Depot, and South Depot. Pretty easy to remember to get around the hotel. You've got those 3 internal stops and the 1 main stop to head to or from the parks. And the bus does go this way, with the last stop being at South Depot before heading out. You also can see this walk that Emma and I did earlier to Port Orleans French Quarter. It's very short. It's like a 10-15 minute walk depending on your pace. Port Orleans French Quarter is down here, but it's all on this map. So pretty simple. And then this river is what leads to Disney Springs down here. Here you go, $65 for a carriage ride. And it looks really cool. I've never done a carriage ride in Disney World. Speaking of which, there's still one happening. Oh, the nighttime sunset one. That looks amazing. I think that we'll have to do this one as a part of Emma's current challenge, where she and the rest of us are doing everything in Disney World. I think we'll have to do this. All right, we've seen the hotel, we've seen the room, we've seen the horse-drawn carriages left and right. So let's talk a little bit about if this hotel is worth it. Now, you do get the Disney perks if you stay here. You've got transportation, free parking here at the hotel, as well as at the Disney theme parks if you have your own car. You've got early theme park entry, 30 minutes early to the park of your choice. A little bump to the advanced dining reservations window, so you can get reservations a little earlier. And you have access to the Disney dining plan as well. That's something you'll get with all Disney hotels. Those are the things you'll get with all Disney hotels. Now, the pros for Port Orleans Riverside specifically are that it's got an amazing theme. It is so beautiful here. The hotel is sprawling and just comfortable and immersive. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's also the boat to Disney Springs, which is a super great amenity because Disney Springs offers so much in the way of entertainment and dining. And then you also have the dining accessibility. Of course, the dining at Disney Springs, plus great dining here, as well as great dining at Port Orleans French Quarter. So it's a really awesome spot if you want kind of the best of all worlds while still not breaking the bank too much. On the con side, we've got the size. This is a large hotel, which means those buses can get really crowded. Even at a pretty dead time today, Emma and I were in a pretty full bus because it can just get so crowded with how many rooms there are here, and it can be a long walk to get to and from your hotel room from the lobby area. Now, of course, you can take buses between those internal bus stops, but still, that can be a bit of a con. And another con is the buses in general. It is primarily reliant on bus transportation, which is not always the best when there are monorail and Skyliner options, even Skyliner options in the budget category that can get you around to the parks a little bit easier. Waiting on the bus is the least exciting way to get around Disney World. So that's also something to keep in mind, is that the buses can be considered a con, and there are options that cost the same or a little less in the value category that do offer that Skyliner, which, you know, kind of up to you on what your priorities are there. Now, whether or not a hotel is worth it is totally up to you, depending on that price and what you're looking for. If you're not gonna have a resort day, then you might wanna do one of those values with the Skyliner instead. But if you're gonna have a resort day, then the amenities here might work out a little bit better for you. If you don't decide that Port Orleans Riverside is right for you after watching this video, you can check out my video where I've ranked every single hotel in Disney World. It's on the channel now, and it will take you through all of them, the pros and cons, and whether you should get booking or keep looking. So that can be really helpful for finding which hotel is right for you. Now, I am not staying at this hotel tonight. Frybucket is the one who is staying the night, so I'll let her tell you how the beds work on the 8-hour bed science test.
8-hour bed science was great. Slept wonderfully in that room, but I will say the shower pressure was not great, and I normally don't ever really say that about Disney hotels, but that shower pressure was not there. I could have stood, you know, the back half of the shower, but wasn't even feeling the water. So shower pressure not great, but everything else in the room was amazing. Loved it. And yeah, I slept there all night. Had a great sleep, but shower pressure could use a little work. Anyways, back to Quincy.
Checkout is at 11 a.m. and it is automatic. You don't have to go to the front desk. Your folio is emailed to you, and if it looks okay, you are all good to go. Now with that, I unfortunately am gonna head home and say goodnight to Port Orleans Riverside. If you like this video, go ahead, like and subscribe, and now go check out my full tour of Port Orleans French Quarter. I'll see you there.